Good morning. This is Mark here with Supercharger Wellness. And today I want to talk about protein and why it is so important. Okay, so protein is a macronutrient molecule that is composed of smaller building blocks. Now, these building blocks are called amino acids. Okay, so when we talk about taking amino acids, all you're basically doing is supplementing the building blocks of what is made up of a protein molecule so your body can function metabolically the way it's supposed to. Okay, so there's 20 amino acids, okay, and they all have different names, and they all are necessary in the body to form the proteins that are required for our body to function. And protein is responsible for so many things in the body. Like, it would absolutely boggle your mind if you were to take a biochemistry course. It's mind-boggling, actually. So we've got 20 amino acids. Now, 10 of these amino acids are non-essential, meaning that our body can produce them through different functions, and 10 of them are essential. Now, by essential, that essential means that we need to acquire them from our diet. So that being said, if we are not getting enough protein in our diet, then our body is unable to function properly metabolically. So that we kind of run into problems. And one of the a lot of the problems you hear about is anemia or iron deficiency in the blood. A lot of the times it's due to improper diet. And protein is absolutely essential. So for people who think that taking too much protein is bad for you, wrong. The thing is, taking too much protein at one time, it can be bad for you. It can tax your kidneys. You can produce too much creatinine in the blood, which is a byproduct of the kidneys. And that is a waste product that can build up, and it can cause some problems with kidney function. But that being said, if you're into bodybuilding, building muscle, your body needs protein to rebuild its muscle. You know, our enzymes are formed of proteins. There's so many functions, cell function is the protein is responsible for, and our body is constantly synthesizing proteins. In our DNA is constantly synthesizing proteins in the cell for function, for metabolic function. And if we don't eat the proper amount of protein, our body needs to take the proteins from somewhere. So what happens is you start getting muscle wasting. Your body will start actually eating itself to function. So that being said, we need to make sure that we eat enough protein, and high quality proteins at that. Not all proteins are created equal, okay? You know, egg protein, egg whites are probably from the highest quality proteins we can consume. Red meats also have a very high amino acid profile, okay? Things like whey protein, not quite as good. I usually like to drink branched chain amino acids with my whey protein to make sure that I'm getting a full, complex amino acid profile so that my body can utilize those amino acids to rebuild and function properly. Okay, so make sure that you're eating enough protein in your diet. Make sure you're getting it from a variety of sources. That's why, I don't know, veganism is kind of, unless you're eating like a lot of vegetable protein, like you're probably not getting the proper amount of protein in your diet. A lot of people who decide to go with that lifestyle choice run into health problems. And I don't want to piss anybody off about veganism, but I don't think it's natural for humans to be vegan, because if it were, we wouldn't run into so many problems with health if we made that choice. Like, you really have to get the right foods in your body to supplement the fact that you don't eat meat, or you will run into problems. You will run into health problems and metabolic issues and stuff like that. And in my opinion, if it's making you unhealthy, it's probably not natural. And I believe human beings are omnivorous, and we require protein from meat, eggs, fish, animal products to function properly. And whatever intrinsically moral issue people have with that, I don't understand it. Like, I do understand the meat industry and how that can be kind of disgusting, the way that they produce things and stuff like that, but human beings have been hunting and gathering and fishing and eating meat, fish, and animal products since the beginning of time. So this is like some new age thing, and then all of a sudden we have all these health issues from it, and it's like, why? I just don't get it, you know. Anyways, I'm ranting. But yeah, protein, amino acids, a branched chain amino acid product is very good to kickstart protein synthesis in the body. And basically, if we have a lack of protein, we go into what is called a catabolic state. And catabolic means breaking down, and anabolic, breaking down of muscle tissue, and anabolic means building up of muscle tissue. So when we're in an anabolic state, it means that we have the proper amount of protein in our body at that moment to build muscle. So if we go too long without eating protein, what happens is we go catabolic and our bodies start to break down instead of build up. So when you're constantly in the gym and you're pushing heavy weights and breaking down your muscle tissue, you're in a constant state of recovery. You want to keep your body in an anabolic state in order to continue to regrow and build the muscle that you've been tearing down through your training, okay? So if you're not eating, every 2.5, 3 hours, proper macronutrient content meals, meaning fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, you are not keeping your body in an anabolic state. That is why we eat like 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9 times a day, some bodybuilders. Because what we're doing is we're making sure that our bodies get an even flow of macronutrients throughout the day as we are requiring it. So every time our bodies metabolize the food we eat and utilize the macronutrients, we put more in. So we're constantly feeding our bodies throughout the day. Going for long periods of time without food put you in a catabolic state and are counterproductive to what you're trying to do. What we're trying to do is trying to build lean tissue and decrease bad tissue or fat. Okay, so that being said, proper protein throughout the day. And, depending on how big of a human being you are, body mass and stuff like that, your protein intake is different. The kind of status quo, I guess, if you will, is anywhere from 1 to 2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. So if you're a 200-pound bodybuilder with low body fat, you probably want to be eating a minimum of 200 grams of protein a day, all the way up. Some people will do 400 grams. To me, that's excessive. I only try to get 1 to 1.25, so I'm about 210 pounds. So I'm trying to get about 250 to 280 grams of protein a day. I break my meals up into about 6 meals right now, and I'm eating about 40 to 50 grams of protein per meal. So it falls anywhere in between that area. And I'll talk about carbohydrates and fat in another video, but yeah, protein is absolutely essential, and it's difficult to eat the amount of protein that we require in bodybuilding because we're forcing our bodies to do something that they don't necessarily want to do. Your body requires a certain level of macronutrient to function. We're taking that and we're stepping it up, okay? We're forcing our body to grow. Your body doesn't want to grow. It does not want to be bigger. Your body craves efficiency. And the bigger you are, the less efficient your body becomes. So what our body tries to do is maintain something called homeostasis, which is basically to stay the same. And our body has different feedback loops, negative feedback loops and positive feedback loops that read or determine what needs to be done in our body metabolically. So protein is absolutely essential to the growth of new muscle tissue. We are forcing our bodies to do something that it doesn't want to do. That's why it's so hard to grow muscle. Some people are a little bit easier than others, but eating 6, 8 times a day is something that a lot of people have trouble with. And then they wonder, oh, why can't I get big? Why can't I look that way? And it's like, well, how's your diet? And then they're like, oh, well, not that good. Well, let me tell you that like 70%, or it's a high percentage. I don't know the percentage, I'm just like making it up, but let's say 75% of your muscle growth is what you do when you're not in the gym. It's your sleep habits and your eating habits. So making sure that you have a proper macronutrient breakdown and you're consistently eating the right foods throughout the day, like consistently, like every day, consuming what you need to be consuming is absolutely essential to growing muscle. Some people attribute it to different things. They'll attribute it to steroids, or they'll attribute it to genetics or whatever. It's like, Okay, you can take all the steroids in the world, but if you're eating twice a day and you're eating like shit, you're not going to grow any muscle. All steroids are is a hormone that signals your body to build muscle through an anabolic process, but you need to put the food in for the body to grow the muscle. It doesn't just come out of thin air. I don't understand. People don't get this. It doesn't work that way. Okay? So that being said, natural or steroids, you need to be taking the right amount of food into your body, and it's caloric intake. It's your caloric intake has to be in excess of what you're utilizing on a daily basis for your metabolic processes. So let's throw a number out there. Let's say your body requires 2,400 calories a day to function, okay? So if you meet that 2,400 calorie window and you only meet that, you're not going to grow. It's the law of conservation of mass, okay? So you have to exceed that caloric intake in order to grow muscle. So I try to eat, I don't know what it is, like 3,500 at least to 5,000 calories a day, depending on what I'm trying to do. If I'm really trying to bulk, I just eat everything. So I'm eating way, way more than my body's requiring on a daily basis. And that's why I'm able to grow muscle, okay? So I'm forcing my body to take more in than it needs. And that is when your body starts to grow, because the calories have to go somewhere. And you're either increasing your body fat composition or you're increasing muscle. And what we're doing is we're training the muscles so that they require growth, require healing, and then we're pumping them full of calories of proper macronutrient content to make the muscle grow, okay? Now, if I were to just not eat protein and just crush 4,000 calories or 5,000 calories of carbohydrates every single day, I'd be a fat mess. What it is, it's proper macronutrient breakdown, proper amounts of fats, ratio with protein and carbohydrates, okay? Now, it's a window, and everybody's different. You kind of have to find your sweet spot. That's why these meal plans and catered, personalized meal plans and working with a coach who can adjust your food intake based on your body composition, and how you react to different things. That's the only way you're going to get results, okay? Now, you can do it on your own, or you can utilize a professional, but just getting some cookie cutter design off the internet that tells you what to eat is not necessarily going to work for you. Everybody's different, okay? And working with someone like myself or any other coach who knows this stuff can kind of adjust certain areas in your diet to benefit your body type and your metabolism. So everybody's different. You know, that's why these things exist. If it was that easy just to go online, look up a diet, get huge, and do contests, everybody freaking do it. But it's not. It requires a lot of knowledge, a lot of background, and a lot of scientific understanding of what's going on in the body and how to manipulate different things to get certain results. Anyways, that being said, that's my protein rant, okay? Make sure you're eating enough protein. If you have any other questions, please message me through Messenger or SMS. I'm also on Instagram at Supercharger Wellness, YouTube, Supercharger Wellness. Please like and subscribe, and let's get supercharged.